Hey everyone, it's Allison from Fathom 5 Tarot, and I have a new deck to show you today. So I'm pretty excited about it, although I've just gotten it in the last couple of days. I've just been playing around with it a little bit. And when I went to look for it online, I couldn't find really, well, I don't mean online, I mean on YouTube. I couldn't really find much about it, so I thought I would share it with you. So I haven't been buying very many decks lately. I have a lot of decks. But I really wanted to support a little local metaphysical shop that I was concerned about during the COVID-19, obviously, pandemic. And I wanted to make sure that I could support the owner, who's a really, really nice person and who I enjoy seeing. So, and I wanted to make sure her business was viable. And it turns out she was just like swamped with people who had the same idea that I did, that they wanted to support her during this time. You know, she's a little independent bookstore and sells all kinds of groovy stuff. So it turned out that she was completely swamped, and it took her for a while to fill orders, which is amazing. So I wasn't really in the market for a deck like this, but I was looking through her shop at what I didn't already have and what might interest me. And I settled on this deck. So I've taken it out of the box, and I'm going to talk about in a minute why I chose this one. It's called the White Owl Mystic Arcana. And I think why I opened it from the bottom. I don't do unboxings because it takes me forever. And you can see it's dated there for when this particular run was made, and so I left the seal on the top. And this is a digital collage art deck, which traditionally I would say haven't really drawn me in. I would have said a year or two ago probably that I don't like collage decks. And in the last year, I have discovered that I'm wrong about that. I do like collage decks, probably not all collage decks, but some. And I've been really drawn to them. And I think what has really gotten me on that bandwagon is Chris Ann's Muse Tarot. Now, I have the independent version of this, but when I was looking to support this store, I was like, well, she is doing an order of the Hay House version. And I just am so instantly in love with this deck that while I want to use the Muse Tarot all the time, I'm kind of scared to. Now, it's just such a gorgeous work of art, and I hope, I don't think that's right. I don't think, I never really, I'm like, oh, well, I'll never use it. But I was just like, what if something happens to my indie version that's just so gorgeous in every way? Could never forgive myself. So I thought, well, this will be my main one that I use, and I'll still look at the indie version for myself. The collage deck, I just love it, and it's photorealistic, but it just really works for me. I love it. This is the Hay House, like I said, mass market, and they've done a really good job. I do have the indie version of the Light Seers Tarot as well, because I got them both at the same time. Chris Ann is also from my province, so I like to support local artists. And whatever issues people are having, I probably will end up getting the mass market Light Seers as well. I just haven't yet. And I know there were a lot of problems with inquiries with cardstock and quality, but if my deck's any indication, that's not at all a concern with the Muse. I think they did a beautiful job on it. It's got a little guidebook. I, of course, have the indie version guidebook as well. So I was like, okay, I'll get that. And then I saw this White Owl Moon deck. And I was like, well, I don't usually read with a lot of Oracle, but why not? Why not? Because it is also a local artist, actually really local to me, only lives like maybe 20 minutes, half an hour away, I think, just sort of given the geographic area. And it's also collage, and maybe they'll work well together, and maybe I'll get into it and that kind of thing. So I thought I would just come on and show you today. So it is really an indie deck, in that I've only seen it a couple of places. Of course, you can order it online if you're interested, and I will link below how to do that. It is in Canada, so I mean, of course, if you're in America, what can you expect from Canada? The shipping will suck, and the dollar will be amazing. So this, I think it's listed on her website for $45 Canadian. She's also on Etsy, so I'll make sure to link that below. Maybe. Now that I think about it, I think the link on her site, when you click buy, I think it takes you straight to her Etsy shop. And she also does funky things with candles. She's got some t-shirts. Oh, she's got a really adorable little mini witch kit on there. I just checked it out before I made this video. It's like $10 in a little tin with like little stones and candles and little tiny incense. It's adorable. So if you're into that, again, click the link, check it out. But in terms of this deck, this is the box, just a standard tuck box. Which again, I don't love, but what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? I did Papa Squirrel's trick about using the butter knife to open the bottom, because I always tear tuck boxes the second I open them, and it worked really well. So thank you if you ever watch this video, Papa Squirrel. It's awesome. But it's a lovely box. It's sturdier than a lot of tuck boxes, and it's very pretty. And then you get a little black white book, and it is like adorable. It's nice, you know, paper and stuff, but it is, you can see the staple in the back there. Like, I think this is handmade. You can tell the lines don't all line up, but this just, and then this is, I think, stamped, maybe embossed. But it just adds to the charm for me. And it is very much an intuitive deck. You don't get a lot of information here in the book, and it's because the artist, oh, I'm so sorry, I should tell you the artist's name. Elfie is her first name, and she puts it in the introduction. Oh, Lord. Elfie. I don't know. Elfie. Maybe she's like Cher or Madonna. Maybe we just need one name. That's all I can find. I really apologize if you are the creator of that deck and you're watching this and I have somehow missed your full name. Anyway, in the introduction, it says her name is Elfie. And go to the website, check it out. And yeah, that's all we have. There's a 3-page introduction about her creative experience creating the particular deck, and how she really wants, her intention for the cards is that they be used completely intuitively. So, and that cards don't give answers, you give answers that the cards provoke in you. So she says at the end of her introduction, she says, in this book, I've given you some words that I feel illuminate the energies present in each card. Use them at your discretion. I've also given you a few set of cards with no listed meanings. So I've broken them into little sections, and I'll talk about that in a minute. And so that you're to read entirely intuitively. The deck has been broken into a number of different categories. There's basic energies, and I'll go through all of these. The 5 elemental energies, the 12 zodiac energies, the 9 planetary energies, the 13 moons of the year, which is my favorite, the cycles of the moon, and then just the intuitive cards. So a wide variety of cards there in the deck. And I actually am pretty excited about this because I don't know anything about, I could probably list all the zodiac signs if you asked me to, like try to remember their names. And I know what mine is and what it's supposed to mean. But I don't really know anything about anybody else, even my husband's, I don't really know. So that'll be fun. Planetary energies, I don't really know those associations either. And so, yeah, I know, of course, the elemental energies and those kinds of things. So I'm going to go through, I'm going to try and find the ones as they are based in the book. So the basic energies, oh, you know what? I think already I put these with the earth energies. So there are 2 listed in her basic energies cards. So actually, first I'll talk about the cards themselves. Those are the backs, which I wasn't sure about at first, but I love them, seeing them in person. They're funky and sort of hypnotic, and I love it. Cardstock is lovely, not too glossy, nice bend. They're quite big. They're oracle cards, so I don't think I would probably, I don't know how I'll shuffle them, really. I've just sort of been flipping through them. And then, so this is a particular card. You can see it's a white background with the photo collage art in the middle, and then quite a large border, which I don't mind at all, actually. I like it. Sometimes I'm really bothered by borders, but this is fine. So inertia and energy. Yin and yang. Isn't that pretty? And again, like, let's just grab, I'm just grabbing a random card over here. Like, won't they go well together? This is the Muse. Ooh. So those are, what does she call those? The basic energies. Energy and inertia. So that's cool. And then we move on to the 5 elemental energies. Uh-oh. I've misplaced one. You know what? I probably put it in the wrong pile. I'll come to it. Ether. It's because I was looking for 4 elemental energies because I'm 100% tarot based. So we'll do those and we'll come back to ether when I find out which pile I mistakenly sorted it into. So earth. And I love that it's got like the symbol on there too. Air. I love these elemental cards. Fire. Look at that. Cinnamon sticks. Isn't that good? Look how gorgeous that water card is. Beautiful. And again, I apologize about ether. I've put it in the wrong thing somewhere along the way. We'll come back to that. Okay, 12 zodiac energies. And I've assorted them based on how she sorted them in the guidebook. She lists them. And so for each of these, you'll see that there's just a couple keywords that she has provided if you want them, or you can look at them completely intuitively. So here we go. Aries. Taurus. Isn't she gorgeous? Gemini. Cancer. Oh, she's a beauty too. Leo. Virgo. I love that purple. Libra. This one is very much an aesthetic companion to the Muse, or just reminds me a bit of the Muse. Maybe it's because of that rose aesthetic. Scorpio. Look at that. Sagittarius. Capricorn. A little Maleficent energy there. Aquarius. And Pisces. Nice, eh? Okay, so those are the zodiacs. Planetary energies. Again, I don't know. So I'm excited to learn. Well, I'm sun, obviously, but sun. Now, one of the things she talks about, this is clearly Christian imagery. She was raised, she says in her introduction, she was raised Greek Orthodox, and sort of course, her faith evolved over the years as she became an adult, and for that reason, she's got this sort of blending. But I think it's something that you could take or not, depending on how you want to read them. Mercury. Venus. Oh, sorry. It's hard to get the whole image in here close with the title. Mars. Jupiter. Oh, look at that back bend. Lord. Saturn. Not 100% sure how I feel about the animal heads on people. That's just something maybe I'll have to get used to. That's a tiny thing though, really. That's a gorgeous, cool card. I love that one, Uranus. This one's really cool too. Look at that. Neptune. And finally, Pluto. I like that she let Pluto be a planet. Let Pluto into the club. Okay, so those are the 9 planetary energies. And again, for all, I won't show it every time, but for each of those, there are just sort of keywords if you're interested in looking them up. But again, I think her intention is that it is read entirely intuitively. And then I think we've got the moons. Okay, so we just had a massive full moon. It was gorgeous. May the 6th, and it was so bright and so humongous in the sky. Even when the sun was still up, just this giant moon. Oh, it was amazing. So I'm really excited to look at these each month and think about it. And then for this, it's not just keywords, but just a little phrase. So for example, for the January moon, a time to look inwards and understand what is hidden. Cool. So we'll just go through in the order of the calendar. The moon cards are my favorites in the deck. I just love it. And look at that repetition of the back on the front of the card. Whoops, there. March. April. May, and actually since we just had such a spectacular May moon, let me read what it was, Sarah. So, a time to create with confidence and balance. That's good for these times. June. July. August. I like that one too. I love that time of year when things are just starting to turn towards fall. September. October. November. Gorgeous. December. And then there is one more because she's added a card for blue moons. So if you have 2 full moons in a month, if you're, I can't remember how often that happens, every 2 years, every 4 years maybe. But those are the moon cards. And I have to say that I feel like I may not use this deck all the time, but I feel like I will never put those moon cards away, ever. I love them. I just keep them as a separate little deck and then think about them with my, full moon obsession each month. That'd be awesome. Okay, so next, according to her guidebook, I've got 2 stacks left here. Oh, I know what's next. It's the cycles of the moon. So there are only 3 cards in this stack. And they are Maiden, Mother, and Crone. So there's our Maiden. I listened to a really interesting podcast about the idea of Maiden, Mother, and Crone, and the idea of interpreting these cards for multiple gender identities, which I think is important, or this idea of Maiden, Mother, Crone that doesn't have to be necessarily feminine. And also to sort of consider, if you are not a mother, to look at it more broadly and to not feel left out of that. And it was a really interesting thought exercise. I liked it a lot. Beautiful. And then Crone. Cool, 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 cool. Beautiful. Okay. And then the last cards are the intuitive cues for personal meaning. So what she says about this, the final collection of cards are inspired by various sacred geometries and archetypes. And I have to say, some of these I actually haven't even heard of before. So I'll be interested to learn about them. Although they are named, the collection is intended to spark your own personal meaning. When these cards present themselves, they are an opportunity to tap into the unknown aspects of ourselves. Pay attention to what you see and feel about the card and the aspects represented in the image that you notice. So these will speak to you differently depending on when you draw them. And I didn't put these in the specific order that they are in, and I bet this is where we'll find our 5th element, ether. I bet. Here we go. Guardian. Warrior. This one's so interesting because I wouldn't normally associate a rabbit with that warrior, but still it's very interesting. And there's mandalas, patterns, geometric patterns on each card. Siren. Priestess. Cute. Ether, there she is. I'll have to put her back with my elements, but gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Seed of Life. Flower of Life. I think she sells this one. I think she sells some of these as prints, and this is one of them as well, if you're interested in getting a print. Reflection. Meteoron's Cube. I do not know what that is. Probably something everybody knows and I don't. Vesica Pisces. Also don't know what this is. But isn't that cool? Oh, look at that little foot. And Cycle. So that is the White Owl Mystic Oracle deck. So I hope you enjoyed that little walkthrough. I do think it's a really cool deck. I'm excited to play around with it, and I'd love to know what you think. So if you're interested, check out the Etsy link in the description below if you're interested in ordering this deck or checking out her other work. I think it's really worth checking out. And let me know if you've got any new decks that I should hop over to your channel and take a look at. I'd love to see them. Have a great day.